Let's talk more about your hero, Flavia Gemina. She is the hero of the Roman mystery stories. And you say you got the idea when you thought of Nancy Drew in ancient Rome and how she would have been a bit younger than Nancy, but also probably very rich. So, what else, what other things did you draw on to help you create her?
I added elements of myself because many writers put themselves into their characters. So Nancy Drew is bold, brave, honest, and noble. I'm impulsive, nosy, and bossy, and a bit of a know-it-all. So I kind of did a mashup. And I didn't want Flavia to be perfect. Like Nancy Drew is pretty much perfect. I think it's much more interesting when your hero has a weakness or an Achilles heel, like Achilles from the Greek mythology.
Okay, so did any other elements go into creating Flavia? So anything
Oh, funny you should mention the word elements because the Romans believed the world was created of four elements. Can you
Oh,
name them, Izzy?
yes. Okay. So there's air,
Yep,
there's water,
yep.
there's fire, there's snot.
No, snot is not an element.
I was thinking of the humours. I was thinking of phlegm. No, earth. That's it. Earth.
Earth,
I know.
yes. Snot would be a watery element. The Romans thought that not only was the world created of these four elements, but people, we were created of these elements. And we have a liquid version of those elements. And the Latin word for liquid is humor. And the Romans believed in four humors that determine a person's temperament or character. That's
Phlegm. I was right. Phlegm.
Yes, phlegm is one,
brilliant.
exactly. Phlegm is one. And that's where we get the expression good humored. So Flavia's element is air. She's quite flighty, get it? Flighty and
Yeah.
superficial, which is a character of people whose element is air. She's quick, she's clever, she's quicksilver. Her favorite animal is the owl, which is a bird, and also the sacred animal of Athena, the goddess of wisdom. And Flavia is very clever.
It's kind of like you've made her into this recipe. So you've got Nancy Drew, you've got Caroline Lawrence, and you've got Air. Does she fart a lot? She doesn't fart a lot.
Yes, although I did create her like a recipe, she soon became real to me. That's kind of the magic that sometimes happened. But something else happened to make her even more real.
Ooh, what was that?
In the year 2000, I had just finished the the drafts of my book, and I'd got a publishing deal for the first book, The Thieves of Ostia. Hadn't been published yet. It was accepted for publication, and I hadn't been to Ostia except for one magical afternoon when I was 16 years old. And so I got a cheap flight to go to Rome for 2 days. Now, my editor took me to lunch. I went straight from there to the airport, and as I thanked her for the lunch and got up to leave, she said, "I hope you meet Flavia." And I thought, what? She hopes I meet Flavia? Doesn't she know Flavia is a fictional character? Anyway, the next day I flew to Rome, and the next day I went to Ostia. It was a beautiful Saturday. And as lunchtime came, I went to sit in the ancient theater, and I was sitting there munching a Granny Smith, which I'd brought with me on my carry-on luggage. And as I was sitting there, I saw some Italian school kids on an outing. There were some girls skipping rope on the stage, and one of them, I thought, she looked a bit tomboyish, and she had this kind of sparkle in her eyes and energetic, and I thought that could be Flavia. Cut a long story short, I gathered enough courage to ask permission of the teachers if I could take photos of the girls, me with the girls, and the girl who reminded me of Flavia, whose name was Francesca. And it turned out she was 11 years old, the perfect age. And I later drew a little drawing of her, which they then used in the medallions, the mosaic medallions on the first edition of my first book.
Oh,
So
that's freaky. Though.
I actually did meet Flavia. Yeah.
Anyway, not all of us, Caroline, can afford to go on great travels and take our Granny Smith apples with us when we want to write a character. But I really like that idea for an activity of creating a character, taking somebody that you admire, somebody like Nancy Drew already from fiction, adding yourself to it, and also adding an element. So it doesn't have to be air, obviously. It could be fire or water or snot.
Or snot.
Or snot. That's it. So I think that's a great idea to go away and come up with a brand new character that's entirely unique, but all yours. And maybe you'll meet them one day.